I do write with my voice, and it is like a conversation. And I do talk to myself a lot all day long. And it certainly is influenced by my love of jazz. If you're really playing jazz, it's at least a little bit different every time. Even if it's a solo that you're famous for and you've played many, many different times, it has to be different every time if you're feeling it.
Hmm.
The process for me is reading with my ears what I just said.
Mhm.
So dire one leads to desired one. I think about meaning. It is dire and is desired. And savior made me think of sentencer. And it's like noodling at a piano or playing with clay. The physical material tells you what you're feeling and thinking. And I have learned that the melodies of the sentences and the harmonies of the vowels and consonants will tell me what I need to do.
Do you ever have trouble in that you find yourself making yourself go in a certain direction with a poem? Then, like, do you find you're like in I always say that Zen and the Art of Archery is one of the best books on writing actually because it's about letting go and not letting your consciousness get in the way. And there's one line that says you have the problem. Your problem is that you have too much willful will. And I always think of what the way that willful will gets in the way of artists as they make art. Like your idea of what you want to become can get in the way of that spontaneous, natural jazz aspect. Do you ever have a problem with that?
Always,
Hmm.
always a problem. And I think that what you're saying is true. And then I need to add the reservation that you never can conclude that there might be something good in the conflict.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah.
So that struggle between what you're identifying as your willful will and what you're identifying as something more intuitive and bodily, they may have a conflict. Their argument or they're doing the dozens with one another may lead to something better than either one.
Hmm.
So the conflict and the problem is even greater than any way you can describe it. Because if you think you have the solution, that then becomes part of the problem too. So you have to always be ready to hear the conflict.
Oh, that.
Okay, here's rhyme. Rhyme, air and instrument of the tongue an instrument of the body an instrument of spirit, the spirit a being of the air. Each bird the medium of its song, each song a world, a containment, like a hotel room ready for one us guests who inherit our compartment of time there. In the Joseph Cornell box among ephemera as its element, the preserved bird, a study in spontaneous elegy, the parrot, art, mortal in its cornered sphere. Each room a stanza, rung in a laddered filament, clambered by all us unsteady chambered voices that share it, each one reciting, I too was here. I too was here, in a room, a rhyme, a song, in the box, in books, each element an instrument, the body still straining to parrot the spirit, a being of the air.
Yeah, wonderful. That was Rhyme again by Robert Pinsky.